Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I have my February TBR, so let's just get into it. I haven't done many TBRs on my channel because I'm not someone who really plans what I'm going to read unless it's for like a specific video, and I haven't really been doing that much lately. So I sort of just like pick up whatever book I feel like reading in the moment. Like, I'm definitely a mood reader. I really just, like, I don't know what book I'm going to start reading tomorrow, like, never mind in a month. So I've decided the way I'm going to do these TBR videos, because I do want to start doing them this year, is I'm going to only pick like a handful of books, maybe like 6 or 7, that I really want to get to, and then that gives me like a ton of obviously other books that I can just randomly pick up whenever I want to during the month and not feel like I have to read these books because I talked about them in my TBR. So today, the first book I want to talk about for February is Good Girl Complex by Elle Kennedy. I actually got this early. I have it right now. I'm filming this on January 29th, so February has not started yet, and this is supposed to come out on Tuesday, but my copy showed up early yesterday, which I'm really excited about. And for some reason it smells like maple syrup, which is just like so strange, but like also super Canadian, so love that. But I am really excited for this one. I think I'm a little bit hesitant because I was really excited for this one when I heard the synopsis, because I've never been one to really think about writing a book, but if I were going to write a book, I feel like this would have been very close to the book I would have written. And I think that's why I was like drawn into it, was I was like, this sounds right up my alley. Like, it literally sounds like if I wrote a book, this is it. And so I am excited to read it, but I read a review that kind of scared me because someone, I don't want to say it because then you guys are going to be scared too. But I read this review and it just like made me like kind of scared to read it, and so I'm not sure. I was going to vlog it, but I think I'm not going to now because now I think there's a chance I may not like it. But I do really want to read it. And this one follows a girl who moves to a beachside town and ends up going to this college with all these like basically super rich kids, and I guess probably doesn't like the super rich kids, I don't know, but she meets this guy who I think doesn't like the rich kids as much as she does, unless he is one of the rich kids, I'm not really sure. But I don't know. I'm excited to read like something else by Elle Kennedy that's not hockey, because I don't think I ever have. So actually I read her Out of Uniform, I think it's called, the first one, but this is going to be the first book, like solid book I've ever read by her that was not a hockey romance. So I'm excited to see what she does with this. I think the second book in the series was just announced. It's called Bad Girl Reputation, I think. I already have it saved on my Goodreads, but I'm excited to get to this and see what it's about and just read some more of Elle Kennedy's work. I also think with these TBRs I want to make it so that maybe like 3 books a month are from my actual bookshelf, because so many of these I haven't read. Like, this whole shelf, except for The Wall of Winnipeg and Culty, I'm pretty sure I have not read any of these. And then that shelf I've only read After off of that shelf over there. This shelf I don't think I've read like 1 book, the QB book here, I think. Oh, and I read The Daughter of the Pirate King. But like, this is the only shelf, honestly, that I can say I've read most of the books on. And the top shelf, I've read a lot of those. But like, there are so many books that I have that I still need to read. And so I'm hoping that if I like tell myself just 3 off the shelf a month, that I'll do that. I have just like really fallen in love with ebooks. I find that I do like to like buy the paperbacks of my favorite because I like looking at them, but I find I don't read them a lot, if that makes sense. Like, I prefer reading on my iPad because I can read in the dark at nighttime and like not have to turn on all the lights, and I just like that. But next is Lyrics of the Small Town, and this is by Abby Glines. This, I heard when she announced this one, was supposed to be like an edgier Rosemary Beach. If you haven't read her Rosemary Beach series, it is pretty good as well. It is like a beach town, small town romance. There's like 14 books in that series. It's huge, but it is really good. And I want to read this one this month because the second book is coming out this month, so I would really like to obviously have this one done before that happens. I know Laura from Lovely Like Laura, who you guys know is like my favorite booktuber, read this, and she was one of the people that said she really wanted Rio's book, and I don't really know who Rio is because I haven't read this book, but his book is the second book, and I know a lot of people were really excited about him getting his own book. So I'm excited to read this one, and then I'll be able to get his really quickly afterwards and read it. So I guess I count that one on my TBR too. I'll probably read that one this month as well. And I don't know much about this one. I know it's small town because Abby Glines, I think everything she writes is small town pretty much. And this girl moves back to her grandmother's house, I think. And I think a lot of Abby Glines' books are like small town, good girl, bad boy, just like with different plot lines. And so that's pretty much what I'm expecting from this one. And I think that's what it's going to be. I know she moves to this town and she has like a list of things her grandmother wants her to do, I think. And she's there like doing all these things her grandmother told her to do. And that's just what this follows. So I'm excited to read this, like I said, to get to the second one as well. I think it's going to be good. And the third book I picked off my shelf is Stay by Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy. This is the second book in the Wags series, which is a spin-off of the Him series, if you've read Him and Us. The first one is called Good Boy. This is the second one. And it is the only Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy book I have left to read, which is why I feel like I keep putting it off, is I love their books so much. I love their books individually, but something about the books they write together, they're just like a million times better than even their individual books. Like, I don't know what it is. They're so good. And so I'm really excited to get this one. This is a hockey romance, so is the first one. I mean, I think everything they write together is hockey romances. And so I'm really excited to get to this one. It's not super long, only like 250 pages-ish. And so I'm excited to get to this one. I'll be sad when it's over because it'll be the last one. Maybe they'll write another book together. Maybe they'll write another book in this series together. That would be cool. I don't know when these came out, if they're like super old or not. This is from 2017. So it's not like, I mean, I feel like that's too long for them to, I mean, I guess they could write another book, but I don't know that they're planning on doing that. But I would be down if they were willing to write another book. So those are the three like paperbacks that I have that I want to read. Now I'm going to talk about the ebooks that I want to read, which there are a lot of. So the first one is A Bad Boy Blues by Saffron Kent. This one I don't know a ton about. I got it for free or 99 cents or something like that on Amazon one day. And I know it's a bully romance, which I really want to read because I do want to do another bully romance rec video sometime in the near future. So I really want to read this one. I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I'm excited to get to this one for sure. I think they may be college age in this one. It's sort of hard to tell from the description, but it sounds like they're past high school at least. But it sounds like they live in the same mansion, like he lives there and she works as the maid, I guess, unless it's like, sometimes it's their parents that work as the maid, but I think she's actually like his maid. And so I think that's going to be interesting. It's like, I love a good bully romance, so I'm excited to get to this one. I've had it on my iPad for like a million years now, and I've been wanting to get to it, but I keep putting it off because I keep reading all these like Kindle Unlimited books instead of the ones that I have like actually owned. And so I do really want to get to this one as well. Next is Bloody Heart by Sophie Lark. This is the fourth book in the Brutal Birthright series, and this is the next one that I need to read. I'm trying to get better at actually finishing series that I start. I have this really bad habit of reading like the first book or two and then just like never picking up the rest. So I'm trying to finish a lot of the ones that I've started. So I figure if I put a book from each series like a month at least, then I'll get through them. I may actually read the second one, like the fifth book as well this month, but I'm not like 100% on that. But I might, just to try and like get through the series because I do want to sort of wrap up some of the series that I'm reading. This one is Dante's Story. I don't know a ton about it. I don't like reading the synopsises for books that I am reading in a series because I feel like sometimes you end up finding out that two people get together that you didn't know in the other books, and I just don't really like that. So I don't read a ton of that, so I don't know really what this one is about. But it is Dante's Story, that much I do know. I'm excited to get to this one. I've heard a lot of good things about this one and the next one, so I am really excited to get to this one. Next is Line Mates and Study Dates by Eden Finley and Saxon James. This one is the same sort of idea. This is number 4 in the series, and I think there's only 5 in the series, so I would like to wrap it up. And this whole series is college hockey romances. This one follows Asher, who is a player on the team, who ends up dating I think it's the equipment manager, but he's also the coach's son. So it's sort of like the coach's daughter trope, but it's the coach's son instead because they're all MM. And So I'm excited to read this one. I really like the first 3 books in this series. I thought they were all really cute. And so I'm excited to, like I said, get more into the series and maybe finish it. I do think I'm not sure if there's 1 or 2 more books after this one. I think there's only 1. But I also think they might still be writing more. So I'm not sure. But I do want to get to at least this book, so number 4, so that I can keep going with the series and keep doing that, obviously. So I'm excited for this one. Next is Steadfast by Serena Bowen. This one I was kind of iffy on whether I should include it because this is number 2 in the True North series, and the True North series is huge. Like, I think it has 9 books, and there are like a ton of spin-offs written by other authors that take place in the same world that I kind of also want to read all of. So there's like a lot of books to commit to with this one. So I've already read the first one, and I was kind of like, should I just like leave it at that for now until I'm ready to read the whole series? But I'm thinking if I do this thing where I read like 1 book from each series a month, like that will be fine. So this is Steadfast, like I said, number 2. It follows, I believe his name is Jude, who is sort of like, he gets dropped off at the farm in the first book because he has is recovering, basically. He was in a car accident, he was drinking and driving, I'm pretty sure, and he's just like kind of got all these issues, so they like put him on this farm, I think for his probation in the first book, and he's sort of like a side character, like you do see him, but in this book he goes back to wherever he's from and ends up falling for, I think, the girl whose brother he killed in their accident or something like that. And so I'm really interested to read this one. They are super small town. Like, the first book, like I said, took place on a farm, which I love a good small town book. And all of this whole series is like that. So I'm excited to keep reading these because, like I said, love the small town books. And so I'm really excited for that. Definitely, I already have this one checked out from the library, so I feel like this is definitely one of the ones I'll get to because I already have it, and so I'm excited to get to this one as well. I feel like I've said that for every book, I probably have, but I am excited to read them all because they're all books that I've been waiting like a while to read. Next is The Understatement of the Year by Serena Bowen. I didn't realize I had so many Serena Bowen books on this list. This one is number 3 in the Ivy Years series, which is one of her hockey romance series. And this one is actually MM. The first 2 were not, and I don't think the next 2 are, but this one is, which I thought was kind of interesting because I find usually when it's like MM, it's like the whole series is MM or it's just the whole series is not. And so I think it's kind of cool that this one's got sort of different relationships in each book. Like, I think that's just interesting, and that's probably how it should be anyway. But I am excited to read this one. I think they're both hockey players in this one. I don't know much about it. I haven't even read the synopsis. All I know is it's MM and it continues forward from the last book, which I did love. So I'm excited to read this one and, like I said, make some progress on some series, get some of these books done so that I can start new series, because I keep putting off starting new series too. Like, I really want to start the Fallen Men series by Gianna Darling, and I keep putting that off because I'm like, I don't need to start any more series right now. And so I'm excited to get to this one. The next 2 books are my big sort of maybe books. Like, they're ones that I have checked out on Kindle Unlimited right now, but I'm not sure I'll actually get to this month. And the first is Where Good Girls Go to Die. This one is by Holly Renee. I have never heard of this book before, like, anywhere. It just came up on my Kindle, like, recommended for you in romance section. So I looked at it. It says it's a brother's best friend, and it sounds like something happens between her and this guy, and then she disappears for 4 years and comes back, and he's still her brother's best friend, but he's all like tattooed and, you know, like bad boy now. And I'm interested to read this one. The only thing that's stopping me is this, I just realized, is part of a series, and I'm not sure if it's like a standalone. So if it's not a standalone, I probably won't start it this month because I don't want to start a series that I'm going to have to read all the books for this month. But I just thought it sounded interesting. I don't know if anyone's read it. I haven't heard anyone talking about it, but it sounds pretty good, so I may give this one a shot. The next book is Irresistible by Melanie Harlow. This is another first book in a series, which is why I'm not sure I'm going to start it because like I said, I need to wrap up some of my other series. This is number 1 in the Cloverleaf Farms series, which, again, I love me a good like farm set book. And so I'm tempted to read this one. And this one follows a single dad who I think starts falling for his nanny, and he is like running the farm, and I just think I would like that because I love small towns and farms and all of those things. And so I might read this one. I'm not sure. Like I said, I really shouldn't be starting any more series, but I feel like I just am like drawn to these books. And so we'll see. what I end up reading. I feel like that's like a good solid like TBR list of books for me to possibly get to. I think I'll get to at least like the paperbacks, I hope. And so those are all the books I want to read this month. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. I do new book videos every single week, and I'll see you next time.